Hi, I'm Catherine Wheeler for FPTV, and I'm standing here in front of the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C. While the media has focused its attention on Iraq, the standoff in the Taiwan Strait, one of the world's most explosive situations, has only become more dangerous. China's economy continues to grow at breakneck speed, and Beijing pours more and more money into its military. At the same time, Taiwan's president, Chen Shui-bian, continues to flirt with the idea of independence, a move that could provoke a military attack from China. Since 1971, the United States has supported the status quo in the Taiwan Strait, meaning that neither Beijing nor Taipei should unilaterally decide the fate of the island. So what does this really mean? Would the United States really come to Taiwan's defense if China resorted to military force? Just how dangerous could this situation become? We wanted to find out. We presented this assertion to our experts. The United States would never militarily intervene to protect Taiwan. They were all in agreement.
I just don't think that's true.
I think that's wrong.
I think that's wrong.
I think that is an incredibly bold statement bordering on rashness.
But there could be other forces at work in U.S.-China relations. A former top aide to Colin Powell added an additional wrinkle.
I think the American people would be appalled if they thought there were individuals in their government working to cross red lines that Beijing has made quite clear would mean force of arms. And yet we had people in the Pentagon, people like Douglas Feith, the Undersecretary for Policy, who were more or less pushing a reassertion of the alliance and support for Chen Shui-bian's more aggressive moves towards independence.
So should Taiwan declare independence? One of our experts has some advice for Taipei on this question.
If I were a Taiwanese policymaker, I would not do this unless I had clear assurances that the United States, most importantly, and other states in East Asia, especially Japan, would be full-heartedly in support of such an action. Without those two conditions, any such declaration is suicidal.
What if Taipei doesn't take this advice, China attacks and the U.S. intervenes? What would war between two nuclear superpowers look like?
It's something I don't even want to think about, because one doesn't think about going to war with nuclear-armed powers lightly.
I've wargamed that scenario at the Marine Corps War College, at the Naval War College, and other places, and I will tell you right now that every time we wargame that scenario, we wind up with China's Navy defeated, China's Air Force defeated, the United States triumphant in the Taiwan Strait because of the power of its Navy and its Air Force, and nowhere to go from there.
A conflict between the United States and China over Taiwan could very easily escalate.
The question is, will the Chinese stop? It's not whether we will stop. When you have a dyadic conflict and the victor has essentially won at the operational level, of course it's in the victor's interest to stop. The question is it in the interest of the vanquished to stop?
In the 17th century, when Taiwan was last separated from the mainland, under the remnant of the Ming dynasty, which was overthrown by the Manchus, it took 11 attempts by the Manchus and cost 500,000 men to take Taiwan, but on the 11th attempt, they did it. This is not about our territory, our borders, or even our way of life, since Taiwan's political and economic system are not threatened. It's about identity. Taiwan identity politics as distinct from Chinese nationalism.
So what can the United States do? How can Washington prevent a war over Taiwan?
The current policy is working. Strategic ambiguity may be confusing and it may be difficult to support because it seems like you're being Janus-faced, you're warm to Beijing, you're warm to Taipei. But I think it works. It's very sophisticated foreign policy, and America doesn't do sophisticated foreign policy very well.
On July 19th, Chen Shui-bian sent Taiwan's 15th letter to the United Nations seeking membership. 4 days later, the letter was returned to sender unopened. So what will Taiwan do next? Log on to foreignpolicy.com for more information on this and other hot topics around the world. From Washington, D.C., I'm Catherine Wheeler for FPTV.